Hey there, time-travelling toy fans and Star Trek fans alike. Welcome to my channel. I'm the time-travelling toy collector, and this is the Eagle Moss Hero Collector Star Trek Starships XL edition of the USS Enterprise NCC-1701A. This is the craft that replaced the destroyed, spoilers, USS Enterprise at the end, well, at the end of, I was going to say the search for Spock, but actually it materializes, I think, from our point of view in Voyage Home. However, as a fun fact, this particular variation of the ship, so complete with the bridge and the particular design of the nacelles, etc., etc., was the same model that was used in as the refit NCC-1701 model from the Star Trek motion picture through the Wrath of Khan and up until its fate in Star Trek The Search for Spock. The model itself is the same, so the A is technically just a the exterior of the A is technically a repaint of the refitted NCC-1701 variation of the USS Enterprise from the original series, with some upgraded nacelles, etc. So this is the next in my series of examinations of the XL Star Trek hero ship range from Hero Collector. So as there is no at the moment, I probably shouldn't speak too soon, but there is no NCC-1701 XL variant from the motion picture through to the Search for Spock. This is doubling up both as that model and as also the A that then sees us through to the conclusion of the run of the, let's call it, classic Star Trek series of motion pictures. As ever, I'll let you take in some of the beauty of this particular ship before I take it in hand and we have a closer look at some of the aspects of it. Personally, for me, this is, and I know from people who follow my Instagram page, also at the Time Travelling Toy Collector, who've left me comments and opinions and views on this vessel over there. This is one of the more popular, alongside I think the traditional TV series variant from the 60s. This is one of the most popular Starship Enterprise designs, and there is something I think truly epic around its sweeping nature. I love the way the nacelles and the struts sweep backwards. I love the way it catches the, and this is not to sound arty in any way, and apologies if I sound over arty at all, but it's looking at some of the photography I'm able to get out of this one, and I'm by no means am I in any way a professional photographer, so please don't think I'm coming from the perspective of knowing what I'm talking about, but I do know what I like, and I do like some of the ways that this Enterprise can be photographed, and indeed is. So if you're ever in the neighborhood of Instagram and want to check out my page, do, and you'll see some of those Star Trek Starship Enterprise pictures, and I think you might see what I mean in how it lends itself to the photography, and like with other reviews of this nature, or walkthroughs perhaps is a better way of putting it, I will tag some of those photos at the end of the video so you can see this again in a slightly different light, figuratively and literally. So first of all, the model itself, as you can see as it rotates around, has some lovely detailing on the saucer section. You can see there around the bridge area, the very slight colour alterations. The paintwork is very, very nice indeed. The impulse engines are picked out. There's not a huge amount of translucent plastic, sorry. You'll see it as it comes around. There is some used in the forward deflector dish array, but other than that, there's not really much else to comment on. The nacelles are pretty much filled in, you know, as they were on the screen, but they don't contain any of the translucent plastic that we have seen in some other iterations of the Enterprise thus far. What I also like, before I pick it up, is the way that, again, both in the primary and secondary hulls, you can see the very familiar, instantly recognizable Federation decals, and also the text around here. I don't know if yeah, that should be in focus. The text around the saucer section, United Federation of Planets, beautifully pulled out. Is it to scale? I'm not entirely sure that it is. The writing must be pretty gigantic for it to be coming out like this on the side of the saucer section. But you know what? At the price point this comes out at, and the overall detail and quality of this ship, am I going to gripe about a possible misscaling of some letters? I am not. We also, of course, have the cargo bay and the shuttlecraft bay doors here. Oops, as I give it a nudge. And overall, some beautiful detailing. I don't think you can see it as well because of the struts of the stand, but as we come around this side, something else that they pull out quite well is, and we see it in the motion picture, but we can also see it here quite clearly, it's the docking port on the secondary hull, that is a feature of the original motion picture film, as Kirk and the crew return via a shuttle pod within space dock. There is another one here. It's a bit more obscure to see with the with that stand there, but yeah, I like that. I like the attention, as you know, I like the attention to detail. I like the differing light pot, the sort of window areas that are around the fuselage. I like, you can see that along the back there, the paneling on the structures. All in all, this is a really well, as I tend to say, a bit like a broken record, so apologies for that, with the Eagle Moss reviews of the Enterprise ranges. It's a really well crafted ship. It's a beautifully well crafted ship, and as a display piece, it really is excellent. I mean, I'm letting it rotate around now. I'll stop it momentarily so that I can manually handle it, and also so I can pick it up and show you some alternative angles in close-up. But I think it's really worth acknowledging the quality and the level of detail. Now again, you could say, well, actually I could fork out an extra 100 quid or an extra, you know, 150 bucks and get a far more detailed, far more intricate variation on this craft. And actually, if that's what you're looking for, then yeah, by all means go and spend that money and get that. For me, at this price point, which I have mentioned already, this is a beautiful ship. It ups the scale from the Hero Collector sort of standard Starships collection size, and those of you who followed these videos so far will be probably sick to death of hearing me say that I do not collect the small ships range. Okay, you say, we get it. But it's worth mentioning because a lot of those ships, you can see the quality of the detailing, you can see the attention to detail that it does go into it, but again, it comes down to what I'm prepared to invest as a collector and as an enthusiast of the genre. And I'm happy with the sort of 30 to 60 pounds price band in order to get a high quality build that actually gives us the level of quality and the level of detailing that we see on these ships and the ships that we've seen previously. The lower price band gives us the smaller ships, but it also gives us we're also sacrificing some scale, some quality and some detailing, in the same way that I'm sure somebody would argue, and probably rightly, that we're sacrificing some quality and some scale and some detailing by not spending an extra 50 to 100 pounds on the model. But you know what? I don't need that. I'm happy to not have that, but of course that's my personal opinion. You may very well have a different opinion, and indeed the space to store it, and indeed the disposable income to spend on it, and that's great. That's the beauty of us all having our own opinions. Everyone can have one without us having to fall out about it. So I'm really happy for you if you're able to pursue that kind of price point, and you have the space for that kind of price point model. Alas, I have neither, so I'm making, I was going to say I'm making do, but you know what, it doesn't feel like I'm making do, because I think the quality of this build, I think the quality of the designs, I mean, you can see the lighting array, Enterprises around the base there of the Shuttle Bay doors. For me, this is a high quality piece of model work, and it's so displayable. It really, no matter what angle you put it in, and you're seeing most of the angles obviously from this rotation, but no matter what angle you put it in, you are going to get a wonderful look at the USS Enterprise A, and it is a beautiful ship. So I'm going to now stop the rotation just as it's coming towards us here, just so that I can, you know, pick it up and give us a bit more of an in-depth and closer look. Well, actually, before I pick it up, I'm going to just turn it slightly more, because you can see here the quality of the detailing. And let me tilt it slightly. This is, of course, where I become slightly nervous about not dropping it and smashing it to 1,000 pieces. But you can see there the quality of the detailing on that saucer section. It really is beautiful. It really is. And let me then tilt it back slightly. Again, quite a familiar look there. So you can see the photon torpedo bays there in the neck. You can see that translucent plastic that's forming the deflector dish. Let me restand it there, and then I'll unclasp it. Brace yourself for the fear that accompanies this part of the task. So however I do it, it fills me with dread. There we go. That worked. So let me move this out of the way. So here we have the USS Enterprise A. You can see the fantastic detailing around the side there of the saucer section. Apologies for the focusing issue. There's the underside of the saucer section. Lots of paneling, presumably the captain's yacht. Love a captain's yacht XL, particularly from possibly some of the later films. The neck, you can see the detailing there on the neck is exquisite, I think, and I'm sure there'll be naysayers who have a totally alternate view on whether or not that's exquisite or not. But in my opinion, and it's my video, so I can give you my opinion, I think that is exquisite. Again, just to say, you can see the photon torpedo bays there nestled into the neck. Trying to get it into focus, but apologies, it's fighting me a little. The secondary hull pulled out there with some lovely panel work. Again, with the detailing, we can see under there all the detail that we come to expect from Eagle Moss. Let's be honest. Here we have the shuttle bay. Oops, sorry. Here we have the shuttle bay, so we can really see the quality of the design. The nacelles, the sweeping of the nacelles there as they sweep back from the main body of the ship. Yeah, I may sound like I'm being over dramatic, but I don't care, to be honest, because I really love this design. It is. I think I know other people have shared this view, but I will happily go on record and support the view that it is one of, I think, the most iconic and beautiful designs of the USS Enterprise. You can see again here in the secondary hull on the neck, access ports there, access ports there. It's just we've got some lovely gold detailing around here. It's just so lovingly, I think the words I'm looking for here are lovingly crafted. It's so lovingly put together. And then we've got the impulse engines there showing behind the saucer section. Here's a reverse on the saucer section, so you can see quite clearly the quality of that bridge design and the other elements of the saucer section. So, you know, I think all in all, there's a lot to really appreciate about this ship. I normally say around about now, do you think this has a place in your collection? I'm almost inclined to not ask that this time, because you know what? I think if you're into Star Trek, if you followed the films, if you're a fan, let me try and reconnect it. hold your breath. Oh no, I've pulled the whole thing apart. Hold your breath as I try and put it in. I think I've said that before. There we go. Right. There we have the USS Enterprise A. I really think, as I was saying, that this should be in your collection. If you're a fan of Star Trek and of Star Trek Starships, this really should be in your collection. So if you don't have a lovely array of display shelves somewhere tucked away at home, now might be the time to invest, because I think this is a ship that deserves to be on display. They all do, you know. The XL range that I've collected, there's none that I'd hide away in shame, certainly. But I just think there's something really quite awe-inspiring. And again, not to sound overly dramatic, he says, using the term awe-inspiring, but I do think that just the way the ship is held in the cradle there, the lines of the ship, everything about it screams elegance and class as a starship. And yeah, I look at it now and I actually am taken aback with myself about how long it took me to actually commit to purchasing these, because I think some of you will know from previous videos and interactions on other social media platforms that yeah, I really wasn't going to collect any of these, and actually I only started collecting them by accident because I was at a Star Trek convention, Destination Star Trek I think it was, in Birmingham a couple of years ago, and there was a raffle and I won one of the starships in the raffle, and unfortunately that triggered my collector's gene, because I can't just have one of something, because that would be insane, wouldn't it? And entirely irrational. But no, in fairness, I could have coped with that, but once I got it out and had a look, I could see the quality of the build, the quality of the paintwork overall, the quality of the detailing and the panel work. I'm not going to retread all of that because you'll be sick to death of me singing the praises of it, to be perfectly honest. But that is what made me then go and examine. Hero Collector had a stall there, so I went to examine what they had on offer a bit much more closely, and I was really taken aback by the level of detail and the level of quality. So I think it's probably fair to say that had I not entered that raffle and won the Kobayashi Maru starship, then we wouldn't be having this conversation now. So, you know, blame Destination Star Trek, blame raffles, blame the podcast that was hosting that particular raffle, blame who you like. But I'm really glad that I ended up with these. And to be honest, I went a bit crazy and bought 4 or 5 of them at the convention on that very next day, because I wanted to actually say, wow, while they're here, because also the benefit of being at a convention is they tend to offer them at a slightly cheaper rate. They tend to retail around £45–50 mark on the Hero Collector website. Many of the ships, well, certainly the ships that I purchased at the convention, were going for less than that. So I made the saving. You could argue that it's hardly a saving if you ended up spending money you weren't going to spend, but luckily I can't hear you saying that, so you can say as much as you like. So does it have a place in your collection? Only you really know the answer to that, but I think deep down we both know that if you're a Star Trek fan, you probably already have it. If you don't already have it and you're watching this video to see whether or not you like it and whether or not it is something that you think would look good on your fabulous display shelves, then the answer is hopefully yes it does. Yes, it does have a place. Yes, it does look fabulous, and I'm sure straight after this video you're going to rush off to herocollector.com and purchase one. Equally, however, if you've now looked at it and gone, I'm really glad I didn't get it because it's not for me, then I think that's a win as well, because I hate it when people in myself included, spend money and invest money in something that just isn't actually what you thought it would be, and may very well be quite disappointing coming out of it the other end. And I would hate for that to be the case. So hopefully from what you've seen here and what you'll see in the photos I'll tag in at the end of this video, you'll get a clear picture of whether or not this is right up your warp corridor. So you've been a fantastic audience. Thank you for sticking with me for the last 20 minutes or so. If you are interested by this content and it's been useful, do please like the video. Similarly, if you don't already, possibly hit the subscribe button so that you never miss a future review of possibly a ship that you are considering purchasing and want to see it in a bit more detail before you commit. And to help you with that, you can always hit the notifications button while you're there. Thank you very much. As I said, you've been a fantastic audience. I've been the time traveling toy collector, and this has been the XL edition of the Hero Collector USS Enterprise NCC-1701A from the XL Star Trek range. I look forward to seeing you in a future video. In the meantime, take care, and remember that a thing of beauty really is a toy forever, one to beam up.